What happened while we were away, brought to you by Sparks Fly at the White House.
Have you said thank you once?
A lot of times.
No, in this
Even
entire
today.
meeting, you said thank you.
Even today.
You went to Pennsylvania and campaigned for the opposition in October. Offer some words of appreciation for the United States of America and the president who's trying to save your country.
Yes, President Trump and Vice President J.D. Vance's meeting with Volodymyr Zelensky did not go well. It started when the Ukrainian president tried to lecture Vance about his view of history on the Russia-Ukraine conflict.
There are dozens of us. Dozens!
I've never seen Trump as upset in a setting like this before.
Don't tell us what we're going to feel. We're trying to solve a problem. You're not in a good position. You don't have the cards right now. With us, you start having cards. But right now, you don't. Yeah, you're playing cards. You're playing cards. You're gambling with the lives of millions of people. You're gambling with World War III.
Left-wingers immediately created and joined the narrative that Trump and Vance planned the whole time to gang up and bully Zelensky.
We stand with Ukraine. I go, you don't even have custody of your kids, dude.
On Friday night, in total unison and totally unplanned serendipity, various Eurotrash leaders pledged once again their fealty to Ukraine. On Sunday, yet again, totally unplanned and spontaneous, those same European leaders, some of them, gathered in London for an emergency meeting with Zelensky, with the UK pledging $2 billion in support for air defense for Ukraine. British Premier Keir Starmer says he and other European leaders are ready to fill the void left by the United States.
The UK is prepared to back this with boots on the ground and planes in the air, together with others. Europe must do the heavy lifting.
Nevertheless, Zelensky said later on Sunday he's ready to sign the minerals agreement he left on the table at the White House on Friday. Zelensky made the decision after this discussion with his advisors.
Maybe you can just go back.
Go back?
Yeah. Pretend like it never happened.
You mean just walk into the staff meeting on Monday morning like it never happened?
Sure. You're an emotional person. People don't take you seriously.
So how bad was this flare-up with Zelensky? Well, hell froze over, that's how bad.
He was terrible at Munich, Zelensky, and I think he has made it almost impossible to sell to the American people that he's a good investment.
So just to sum up the last 96 hours, Zelensky made a poor choice in crossing the line of disrespect inside the Oval Office. Every left-winger in America spontaneously came to the same conclusion that Trump and Vance had prearranged to gang up on Zelensky. Friday night, European leaders copy and pasted the same messages of support for Zelensky. And once again, in total spontaneity, Sunday there's an emergency meeting of European leaders, once again totally spontaneous, where they come to the same conclusion that they need to be doing more to pull their weight in the defense of their continent, at the very least a proto-fulfillment of Trump's European foreign policy of the last decade. And Zelensky says he wants to sign the minerals deal he ostensibly was in Washington to sign anyways. And Trump looks bad here. How exactly? Moving on, at home, yet another large-scale ICE deportation operation was leaked, this time to a supposed citizen journalist named Pablo Manriquez, who warned the likely violent targets of this raid in Northern Virginia to quote-unquote plan accordingly. Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez tells NPR she has no plans of slowing down her webinars designed to help illegals evade ICE.
My job is to educate and act as a liaison of critical information to my constituents.
Holman was upset, I suppose, because he felt that you were giving advice to people who were here illegally. Mm-hmm. Were you?
I was giving advice to all of my constituents.
Learning Chinese today. Today's phrase is, a lot of people need to go to prison for a very long time.
许多人需要长期入狱.
Former New York Governor Andrew Cuomo is running for mayor of New York City. He says he and that city did a really great job during COVID.
Everyone did their part. Everyone held their position. And we kept this place, this great place running, and we saved lives and we led the nation.
Amazing. Every word of what you just said was wrong.
Elon Musk joined Joe Rogan once again and says there's a reason the mother lode hasn't dropped on people like Anthony Fauci and other corrupt actors on how they make their fortune.
It's more than just insider trading. Like the insider trading stuff, like the stock portfolio stuff is quite trackable, but there's, it's a lot more than insider trading.
The way they're acquiring wealth.
Correct.
And what other methods?
I mean, this is really going to get me assassinated. It's like I'm not lengthening my lifespan by explaining this stuff, to say the least. I mean, I was supposed to go back to DC. How am I going to survive? He's gonna kill me for sure. In fact, I do think like it's like I actually have to be careful that I don't push too hard on the corruption stuff because it's going to get me killed. Yeah. It's like I was actually thinking about that on the plane flight over here. It's like if I push too hard on the corruption stuff, people get desperate.
And that's what happened while we were away.